A legend once said, life sucks and then you die. And that's exactly what it must feel like for St Mirren today as they conceded an 87th minute goal to Luke McCowan and their defence was finally broken at Celtic Park. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Football for another match review this weekend, an action-packed weekend in the opening week of Scottish football. Of course, we got the Monday game tomorrow as well, but we're going to focus on the champions of Scotland because they got the win today. They got the 3 points on the board, but you know what? They may have signed and they may have stolen Luke McCowan away from Hibernian, but they couldn't steal top spot of the table because a 1-0 win actually wasn't enough to put them above Hibs. So the capital side is keeping the top spot warm until the other capital side comes and takes it tomorrow after a 4-0 win against Aberdeen. But aye, Celtic got the win on Flagpole Day, Champions Day. I'd call it a shite watch day, to be honest. It wasn't the greatest game of football. And in the end, thanks to a lucky deflection, they steal the 3 points. But you know what? It just goes to show you look at both Rangers and Celtic. Both were like really, really poor. Yet Celtic still dominated their opposition.
Well, I would say Celtic were poor. I would say Rangers were really, really poor.
Well, either way, Celtic when Celtic are poor, they still actually dominate. Rangers are poor, they're just shite.
Yeah, and you know what? Yeah, it'd be very easy for me to say, "Oh, I'm broken now." That depressed me. That compounded the weekend even further, and that's pretty much what. Nah, but see, in all seriousness, Celtic aren't that good. I didn't watch this game and go, "Oh man, that's the league over."
Wait, of course they're not good. They're starting Yang and they're replacing him with Forrest. I mean, that's and they've got a guy up front who couldn't fucking hit a barn door. I'm looking at you, Adamida. So I mean, of course they're not good.
It just pains me that they're not good. They're there for the taking, but my team's beyond being shite. I mean,
just you wait till tomorrow, big man. But look, Rodgers, he gets the win. He'll be relieved more than anything. I don't think that Rodgers will be happy with that performance. Yeah, initially he looked, I guess, happy. That's because for a long, long time he thought he was going to drop 2 points on the opening day of the season at home. But he will know that that wasn't a great performance. I think he will look at the options that Celtic had to bring on. Celtic, opening day of the season, trying to get a win, and look at who they're... I mean, first of all, they're taking off garbage. They're taking off Yang, they're taking off Ida, and they're replacing them with Kenny, who hasn't shown that he's cut out for this level at all, and James Forrest, who, let's be honest, has probably been past it now for at least 2 or 3 seasons as a player that should be playing for Celtic.
Yeah.
I don't care about the sentimental goal every season. James Forrest isn't someone that should be starting games for Celtic. If he is at the club, he should be like 5th, 6th choice. A guy that appears sporadically in like a League Cup game against fucking Berwick Rangers or some shit like that. You know, he shouldn't be coming on to try and win you a game. And to me, I believe that Rodgers will be, again, criticising the board, and I think he'll be demanding signings after this.
Not here, I think he will be as well. He'll be right to do so. But at the same time, here, maybe if they drew, that would have sparked... I mean, what would be happening right now if it was a draw?
Well, there would be an outrage, but I don't think it makes a difference. Even if Celtic drew this game, I think the reaction for Rodgers will still be the same. I think he'll look at this team, he'll not be happy with it, he'll not be happy. I mean, you can't even the starting 11. I don't think the starting 11's good enough, and I certainly don't think the players that they have coming off the bench are good enough. I mean, Schmeichel, all right, I'll give them Schmeichel. I think they still need a centre back to partner Carter Vickers. In the midfield, that's probably their strongest area.
Nygren started over Engels, eh?
What did you make of Nygren? I wasn't that impressed.
I thought he looked alright, but he looks a lot older than what he is.
Yeah, he does. And then up front, Dyson Maeda, as good as he was last season, I think it is fair to say, and I don't think this is reaching, I think it is fair to say that Dyson Maeda last year had the best year of his career, and that necessarily won't be duplicated.
Yeah, it might be downhill.
I'm not saying Maeda's going to be poor, but Maeda might never reach the heights that he reached last season.
Absolutely.
And then the other two
chances.
And then the other 2 guys you've got in the front line are Yang and Ida. So I think that Celtic will make signings. To me, they have to bring in another winger. I think they'll bring someone in on the right side to replace Yang, and I think they'll be looking for a starter to replace Ida. I mean, they barely got the job done against St Mirren. What about when they take on... No disrespect to St Mirren, but, I mean, Celtic struggled today at home. flag day. Supposed to go out and set an example.
Yeah, I mean, if Celtic put in quite a similar performance against Aberdeen at Pittodrie, I think they'll drop points.
I don't, because I think St Mirren are better than Aberdeen, but...
No, I mean, I think you got to put a wee bit of credit on Aberdeen's name, no?
I put no credit on Aberdeen's name.
Aberdeen made Callum McGregor cry.
Well, I mean, Jimmy Taylor, he's a legend for that, right? I can't deny it. That's one good thing that he done, but...
Yeah, maybe he'll make him cry next weekend.
True. Anyway, should we get into the game?
Aye, we'll get into the game. So, I mean, Celtic dominated. They had about 1 million corners. Johnston whips the ball across, almost finds Dyson Maida. Tiernan. What's happened? This weekend broke me, man.
Yeah, you're on it.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. I was a retard before this weekend, but I mean, it's beyond saving at this point. No medication. It's bringing me back. But, yeah.
Well, I mean, dropping points would have been decent medication today, but that didn't happen.
It didn't. Tierney whips the ball in. Big Adam sticks his head on it. Can't quite do anything with it. Then, big Dyson Maida, man. He goes rune.
You don't need a bottle of penicillin. You just need Celtic to bottle it at Parkhead. That's all you need, but didn't happen.
He goes rune Georgie. Right, big Georgie boy. And then he crosses it instead of shooting. He should have shot.
Yeah, very strange.
And then we have Declan John. I thought Declan John was
shite today.
I mean, he dragged the shot wide. Yeah, the final product was like, you know, Walter White selling 15% purity, man. It was brutal. No.
That would never happen.
No, I wouldn't.
That would be getting tossed into the desert.
Walt's high 90s. Declan John's about 15%. Rank rotten. Gogic, I thought was really good. Blocked a tee on his shot.
As always, to be fair. I mean, Gogic always gives it 100%.
And then just before the break, ball gets whipped into Nygren. He puts his foot through it. George tips it onto the bar, falls back to Nygren, sticks his dome through it, and it's caught by Georgie. And then that takes us to half-time. Celtic didn't really do a lot, but considering they just hit the bar, you would say that if they took a 1-0 lead, it probably would have been fair into the second half.
Yeah, I think. Well, I mean, I think overall Celtic ended up hitting the woodwork 4 times.
Yeah, it's weird. I think Celtic, St Mirren did nothing in the first half. Second half they were much better, but Celtic had more chances. But you would naturally expect that. Declan John, I don't know how many times this guy got in a good position and just awful crossing, man.
Here, I don't think anyone's denying the fact Celtic deserved to win.
No.
But it's just how late the goal comes and the fact that it is a deflected goal. It is very fortunate. But we get into the second half, we've got a shot from...
Did St Mirren deserve a point?
I think both things can be true.
Yep.
I think Celtic deserve to win, but I also think St Mirren defensively. I think if you hold it the champions at their home ground to the 87th minute, and then you only concede a goal due to a lucky deflection, I think that is worthy of deserving a point.
I totally agree.
I'm not expecting St Mirren to go to Celtic Park and have 70% of possession. I'm not expecting them to outshoot Celtic 4-1. What I am expecting them is to put up a fight and stay solid defensively and stay in the game. And here they did that. Well, maybe create a couple of opportunities. They did that. Anyway, Rio Tati, shot for distance, takes a deflection, a block, I believe, off the St Mirren player. Bounces over the head of the goalkeeper, Slamal. Hits the crossbar, then comes down.
Slamal, it's George, mate.
George Slamal.
Is it?
Mm-hmm. Right. Now you're thinking the other Slamal.
Bobby?
Aye.
Fuck, his name's George Slamal. What the fucking name that is?
I'm convinced it is.
Are you sure?
I'll just double check. I'm thinking his name's George Slamal.
Slamal George, maybe?
Or Slamal George, even.
Small George?
Small, is it? Either way, right? I'll call him.
You need to be Big George to get on this.
We'll call him George. So Boggs over, hits the crossbar, comes down, hits off George.
Hits the post.
Then hits the post, and then... No, it came back into the hands of George, didn't it?
No, it went for a throw.
Well, either way, it didn't go in the back of the net.
A corner, even.
And we were a bit relieved at that point.
But... I mean, the Luke McCowan goal, right? Deflection, right? But see if this goes over the goalie, hits the post, hits off him, then hits off the post and goes in. You may as well pack up and go home.
Because
what the fuck? What was this all about? And then, St Mirren, right? Great opportunity. They don't pass it. They don't make the correct pass. Then... Celtic go on the counter. Ball comes to James Forrest. He passes it to Callum McGregor. It gets a bit mumbo-jumbo. Then Mark O'Hara just tries to flick it past Callum McGregor.
No, he doesn't. Forrest attempts to put a ball into the box and it's shite. It's absolute shite. He just finds St Mirren players. And then breaks to O'Hara. and he's got McGregor closing him down. And instead of like launching it or just getting rid of it,
passing to the left,
he almost tries to take the ball around McGregor. He tries to play like a light touch around McGregor, and it ends up hitting off McGregor, and a couple of it bounces up and down, and McGregor gets a look at the bounce. Then McGregor hits a volley, a great volley, and it goes into the bottom hand corner. It's a good goal for McGregor, even though a bit fortunate that it bounced for him, but it was a great strike, can't deny it. But we see VAR checks it out, and apparently it was a handball, elbow. I think, you know what, man, I don't know. It did hit his elbow, but I don't think if he knew much about it. But is it the right decision to rule this out?
In the rules, yes, but I can see why people think it's harsh.
It's one of those ones where if it happens in the middle of the park and it's not leading to a goal, the referee just lets it go, I think.
Yeah, but I don't think it's one of those ones where, say Celtic win 1-0 and this is a goal. I don't think we're looking back at it like the night or the morrow and the people are making a big deal to it and saying, oh, look, that was a clear handball and they missed that. Like, it skims his elbow and there's not really any movement towards the ball.
Yeah, it's not. It is. I blame this on O'Hara. You can say that McGregor got fortunate with the touch or whatever and the fact that landed for him, but for me, this is all O'Hara's fault. You can't be doing that on the edge of your box. McGregor punishes him, but then VAR punishes McGregor, gets wiped off. So, yeah, whatever. Still 0-0.
Ball gets played over to Big Adam, right? Rattles the post. Then they point.
Hold on. I would have had to have apologise to Adam Madea if this went in, because I mean this was great. Cross comes in. Adam Madea jumps as if he's coming out the River Forth like a salmon, chests it down, and plays it towards goal. It's a great touch with his chest, fantastic. And I'm thinking, so fuck, see if he scores this. What a goal this is.
Your narrative's out the window.
If he scores this, what a player. But then he cracks it off the post when he really must score for that position. So yeah, that was Adam Madea's last.
They said something like he missed 19 big chances last season, behind only Cyril Dessers.
That kind of sums it up there. So then he got taken off for Kenny. St Mirren had a couple of breaks, but never really created. Best chance fell for Smith, who should have done better, but he had a kind of tame shot, and I think it was blocked by Scales, I believe. So, yeah, Smith was in a good area, just inside the Celtic box. I mean, should have at least made Kasper Schmeichel force into a good save, but that didn't happen. Then Celtic brought on some subs. You got Forrest came on. You had who else came on? Forrest came on. Kenny came on. A couple other players came on, and the chance Trusty also came on for Kieran Tierney. Engels came on for Hatate, and McCowan came on for Nygren. And of course, McCowan late on gets the winner. St Mirren had defended well, but at this point they kind of just leave Luke McCowan a bit too much space. He takes a shot from probably about 23 yards, something like that, out 22, 23 yards out. And it takes a deflection and just the ball goes past George. So, yeah, Luke McCowan gets the goal.
No, it's awful
Lucky
defending
goal
for St Mirren, right? Because Luke McCowan's just left about 5 yards free, man, all around him. And by the time they get to him, it's too late. And then when you actually compare it to, like, late on, Dyson Maida gets played through. And who was it that ran back? I think it might have been, what's his name? Was it Sabawi? He runs back. He must run about 30 yards and makes a great tackle. And it's like, I'm not saying he shouldn't do it, but where was the energy and enthusiasm for when it was 0-0? But you'll run back in the last kick of the game at 1-0. Fucking close them down at 0-0. No point knocking your pan in when you're 1-0 down.
Well, it's a bit different for an entire team sitting back and dropping deep than it is some guy chasing a ball back and on it for a counter-attack, the last kick of the game. I mean, that is different. You're talking about a totally different perspective from defending there. One moment the guy's having to run back and chase down Dyson Maida.
We have to run out and close down big Luke McCowan.
Yeah, that's not how it works. So, man, you're so close to a point, you're getting deeper and deeper. That's how football works. Come on, why are you pretending like it's a foreign object here?
So you think the defending was adequate for the Luke McCowan goal?
It is what it is. The closer you get to full time, you will drop further back. You will get deeper.
You can drop further back, but someone should have been out marking him, man. It was embarrassing.
Why don't you chuck your gutties on? Why didn't you go to mark him? You'd have done a better job.
I fucking would have.
You'd have been hell bent on making sure you didn't score.
Don't fucking worry about it.
Anyway,
0-0 with me on the pitch.
1-0 Celtic. 5 minutes they had it on time. Not a lot happening here. St Mirren had a couple of long balls into the box.
Check for hee-haw, I don't know.
And that's it. It ended. McGregor happy enough with the win, I guess. Rodgers shakes hands with Stephen Robinson, and aye. Fog football left a wee bit disappointed, not going to lie, guys, but that's how it goes.
Why are you disappointed?
Because I wanted Hearts to be 2 points clear of Celtic coming tomorrow night.
Because they're the main threat, are they?
Of course.
Yeah, but here I'll take my positives, folks.
Just worked a tenner in my pocket and in that screen.
I'll take the positives. If Martin can get it right in the next couple of weeks and we sign a few more players, Celtic they're not invincible, man. They're not.
Yeah, but I'm sure Celtic will also be thinking the same thing.
Of course
They'll be thinking here, if we can get a couple of players in and we can get this right, we can blow Rangers away again. So, but maybe Celtic and Hearts will be thinking here, maybe if we get this right, we can
look at how Celtic have normally started the season the last couple of years, right? Look at last year; they were fucking blowing teams away. To me, I can just see this performance being the norm unless they make big signings, and I don't see that.
Yeah, it was a disappointing performance. I expected Celtic to be better. Stats suggest they dominated the game, and they did. No one's sitting here saying that they didn't.
No, they deserve to win, but I think, like you said, there's a case for St Mirren to deserve a point.
It wasn't a great performance. I think Celtic would have expected more. I expected more. I went with a 3-1 win, and I just expected Celtic to create more. I really did. And they didn't. In terms of shots, they had 14 to St Mirren's 4, 6 on target to St Mirren's 2. Possession, they had 76% to St Mirren's 74. Touches inside the opposition box, 41 for Celtic, 11 for St Mirren. Goalkeeper saves, Celtic had 2 to make, St Mirren had 5. Fouls, Celtic won in that department as well, 10-6. And corners, Celtic had a massive advantage, 12 corners to St Mirren's 1. So, yeah, lots of stats there in favour of Celtic, but overall, not a great performance, and I don't think the fans will be too bothered because they got away with it in the end, but I think had that been a draw, I think we'd see a bit of an outrage here. I think we'd see a lot of unhappy Celtic fans, but here, sometimes it's all about getting the win, and they got that. Here, Rangers won great yesterday, but I think that if Rangers had nicked it 2-1, or if they held on for 1-0, the outrage that we've seen wouldn't have happened. So what about the result then? A result,
it happened in a way lesser way.
A result can mask a bad performance.
Aye, but here, the way Celtic played today, I don't know, here, you could get an easy game, you could get a hard game in that Champions League playoff, but play like this, over 2 legs, I don't think you'll go through.
No, probably not, to be fair. Probably not, but here, anyway.
Because what this kind of reminded me of, in a way, was, you know, like what Panathinaikos did against Rangers. Dominate it, had the better chances, but didn't take any of them. And that's what could happen to Celtic. But anyway, long season ahead, as they all keep saying, 37 to go, but I'm disappointed.
Yeah, I'm disappointed. Anyway, guys, that's it. Leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe. We'll be back for more fans' reaction, player ratings, all that good stuff. And but tomorrow, the big game, where the soon-to-be league leaders will take their place at the top of the table. It's going to be 4-0 Hearts. You want to give any final last prediction on that?
I'll go 4-0 Aberdeen. How about that?
Stephen Presley sacked you?
No.
Alright, anyway guys, that's it. Catch you in the next one. Till then, Celtic get the win. Hibs top the table. And we'll find out what happens tomorrow. Till then, peace.